Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Lead with Love podcast with Dr. Q. And as you all can see that we are not in studio today. We are in another one of my happy places. I am at home in Dallas, Texas, my childhood home, celebrating my mother's 64th birthday this weekend with family and friends, and it has been amazing. And it's fitting for our session that we're going to talk about today. Remember, this is the podcast where we talk about love, leadership, and real life lessons that actually matter. And today's episode 23, we're going to talk about feeling back up from the spring fatigue to a summer recharged. And remember, if you're here right now, it's not by accident. You're exactly where you are supposed to be. So let's jump in. Like my feet are jumped into this ground right now. Can I be honest with y'all today? Listen, spring was hard for me. I had a lot on my plate, and I do not care what sector you're in, whether it's education, corporate, nonprofit, healthcare. This time of year has its particular kind of weight to it. I mean, the energy that carried everyone through the fall is gone. The novelty of the year's goals wore off about a month ago, and everybody was tired, if you're honest with yourself. Nobody maybe was saying it out loud. And leaders who were also very tired were somewhere expected to keep the engine running while quietly refueling everybody else and depleting yourselves. I'll say it. I remember one spring as a principal. Listen, I remember it almost broke me. We had been through a very difficult year. The staff morale was garbage. It was fragile. It was sensitive. Two of my strongest teachers were in crisis, and one personally, and one had professional crisis. My own tank, gone. It was empty. It was on E. And I remember sitting in my office one morning before everyone arrived and thinking, yeah, I don't know how I'm going to get us through the rest of these next 8 weeks. And I said it silently, but everyone knows that feeling. And then summer came. And if I'm being completely honest, like I always am with you, I wasted it. I spent it planning. I spent it preparing. I spent it getting ahead on everything that needed to be happening in the fall. And I stayed in work mode. Woo! Bad mistake, because that's what I thought a responsible leader was supposed to do. And then when September hit, I showed up to the brand new year looking like I was already tired, because I was already behind on the inside, carrying last year's weight into this new year. And guess what? That wasn't good for me or for the people I led. And I'm not going to ever make that mistake again. And today, I do not want you to make that mistake either. So by the end of today's episode, y'all hear those birds? Isn't it beautiful? Oh, this is what I want you all to understand. What spring fatigue actually does to leaders and organizations, and why the summertime is not a luxury. It is a leadership must-do strategy. And you will hear why filling your cups back up is one of the most important things that you can do for the people that you love and that you lead. And you are also going to walk away with a very clear intention for how to use this summer to return to your work fully restored and ready to give more joy than you've had in months. Are y'all ready? I take summer very, very seriously. So let me name what spring fatigue really is first, all right? So because I need you all to feel the weight of it before we talk about the remedy of it. Spring fatigue is not laziness. No, it's not low commitment even. It is what happens when human beings, we are human beings, when human beings who have been giving and giving and giving and giving since September, you finally hit the wall. The emotional reserves that sustained the momentum in the fall, they are gone. They are depleted. They are adios, con Dios. The adrenaline that you used to carry people through, listen, hard stretches, it stopped showing up on demand. You used to be able to just get it in. And then the leader who poured out more than anyone is often the person that is the most depleted person in the building and the last to really admit it. And that's why I'm here. If you need a coaching session, let me know. According to the American Institute of Stress, chronic workplace stress leads to a measurable decline in productivity, creativity, and emotional resilience. And the pattern most leaders fall into is to just keep pushing through the spring, collapse a little at the end, and then immediately you pivot into summer planning mode, never really actually stopping long enough to recover. And here's what that costs you, whether you want to admit it or not. When you do not rest, you do not restore. And when you do not restore, you cannot regenerate joy. And when you have no joy, remember the J in just care. You have nothing real to give to the people who are counting on you to lead them. Ooh, I would say that again for the people in the back, but we don't have that much time. You show up to the new year physically present, but completely and utterly emotionally empty, going through the motions. And the people that you lead, they can feel that. You can't fake it. They always can feel that energy, even when they cannot name it. And here's the hard truth, y'all. Running yourself into the ground is not a badge of honor. It is a leadership liability, because a depleted leader cannot produce an energized culture. You cannot give what you do not have. And yes, it may feel counterintuitive, but I like to call it leadership malpractice, when you don't take care of you and fill your cups as a leader. Leadership malpractice. And here's the reframe that I want you all to carry into this beautiful summer. Taking care of yourself is not a reward for surviving the hard season. No, it is an act of leading yourself with love so that you can return to the people who need you full, present, and genuinely joyful. Vacation is not indulgent. Rest is not irresponsibility. You don't have to earn that. They are both strategic. They are necessary. And for a leader who operates from the Just Care framework, they are required. I want you all to think about it. I want you to think about it like this. You have spent all year telling the people that you lead to bring their best selves to work. You've invested in their humanity, in their development, in their growth. You have asked them to be present, energized. And now summer is the season where you do that for yourself, where you get to do what we talked about last week, model what leading yourself with love actually looks like. It's time for you to put your money where your mouth is. And I believe deeply, and I write about this in my book, y'all, that joy is the fuel for everything else in the Just Care framework. You cannot undo your tie authentically when you are running on empty. You cannot genuinely listen when your mind is completely exhausted. You cannot affirm and acknowledge others when you have not affirmed and acknowledged yourself. Joy, it's not a feeling that just shows up on its own. No, it's something that's cultivated. It is protected. And summer is your cultivation season. Listen, don't ask me. The research is clear. The research from the American Psychological Association, they confirm that vacations meaningfully reduce your stress. They improve your mood, and they restore the mental resources needed for high-level thinking and decision making. And those benefits are not just personal, they directly impact leadership effectiveness. And leaders who rest, they come back with better judgment, with more creativity, and more emotional capacity for the people they serve. That is not softness. No, it's actually science. It's science, and I want you all to learn how to use your summers with intention. So let me get a little practical here, because I know some of you are already making a list of everything that you need to actually accomplish between now and August. I know you are. And I got to interrupt you. Like, I have to interrupt you, because that list with something, I want to interrupt that list with something that I think is way more important. You. First, actually, you need to rest. I know this sounds obvious, but I need you to really hear it as a directive, not as a suggestion. Block the time on your calendar that is not for planning, not for professional development, not for meetings, not for getting ahead. Time that is purely for restoration, a vacation, a long weekend, a week where you do not check email until noon. Whatever version of rest works for you, plan it, schedule it, but more importantly, protect it like it was the most important meeting of your entire year, because it is. You are the most important resource of your entire organization. And when you don't take care of you, you don't take care of the organization. And when you go on vacation, go on vacation. Do not bring your laptop. Do not schedule the check-ins. Do not stay half in and half out. The people who need you the most need you to fully leave so that you can fully return. And this is not abandonment. This is wisdom. Second, refill the things that give you joy. Think about what genuinely fills you up, not what you think should fill you up, what actually does. Time with people who you love, a creative outlet, being outside like me, like this is my happy place. I wish y'all could see my feet in the ground. Read something that has maybe nothing to do with leadership. Really, everything has to do with leadership, but listen to some music. Have a music moment, like whatever it is that reminds you that you are a full human being with a rich life outside of your organization or your work. Do that this summer, and do it with purpose, and do it without guilt. Because here's what I do know, okay? I don't know a lot, but I know this. The version of you that shows up in September is being built right now in the choices that you make this summer, about how you spend your time and how you care for yourself. The leader your people get in the fall is a direct result of how intentionally you rest, restore, and refuel yourself in these next few weeks. Third, I want you to reflect, but do not grind. And there's a difference between healthy summer reflection, because as a leader, that's the R in just care, and summer grind disguised in reflection. Healthy reflection asks, what did I learn this year? Like, what do I want to do differently next year? What am I most proud of? What do I want to build? But grind disguised as reflection is just working with slightly more journaling. Know the difference and give yourself the gift of thinking without doing, of dreaming without immediately planning, of sitting with your own growth before you rush into the next thing. Sorry, I'm just taking a minute, taking in this wind and that bird. I'm so grateful. Use the summer for gratitude. So 3 things right now. 1, I really want you all to block your rest on your calendar before you block anything else. Summer planning gets scheduled around your restoration, not instead of it. Number 2, identify one thing that genuinely fills you up and schedule it this summer. Not eventually, this summer. This summer. And you don't have to spend a lot of money to do this. What I'm doing right now is free. But I want you to get a date to what it is that you want to do. Number 3, give yourself permission. Permission to step away, permission to not be needed for a little while, permission to be a human being who deserves rest just as much as the people that you have been pouring into all year, maybe all your life. And before I let you all go, you already know what I'm going to say. Get your books. Lead with Love, 8 Heart-Centered Strategies for Exceptional Leadership. It's available on Amazon. And the chapters on joy and reflection speak directly to what we've covered today. And if this series has moved you, I'm telling you, y'all, the book is going to take you even deeper. Come on. You have the courage. Invest in yourself. Next week, we are previewing one of the most powerful letters in the Just Care framework, the C, communication. And I'm going to share a few Qisms that I believe with everything that I have. Communication cures cancer. The toxic kind that is eating away organizations, eating them alive. Yeah, y'all don't want to miss it next week. So, I wasted that summer that I was telling you about after my hardest spring. And I paid for it in September. And I paid for it in October. I paid for it probably most of the next year. Showing up physically, but never quite fully present because I had never actually recovered from the year before. And that was not okay. You all have a chance to do it differently. Please do it differently. Please take summers and time to rest and restore very seriously. All right, you all made it through the spring. You've served your people. You've showed up even when it was costly. And now it is your season to rest without guilt, to play without apology, to refill the well that you have been drawing from all year long, because your people need you when you return back, whenever that is, September, August. And the version of you that shows up in August, September is being built right now. So y'all, fill your cups, lead yourselves with love, and then come back full of joy that you were made to give to other people. Thank y'all for being here in my childhood home. Y'all, let's lead with love. All right. I appreciate y'all joining me every single week. Remember, this podcast is also on Spotify if you just want to hear it. And if today's message spoke to you, you already know what to do. Share it with a leader who is already filling their summer with work instead of filling their cups, because they need to hear the rest is not a reward. It is a responsibility. Don't forget to subscribe so that you all don't miss episode 24 next week, Why Communication Cures Cancer. And remember that leading with love is not a one-time decision. It is a daily choice. So until next time, be well and lead with love.